When the lights go out and everything you depend on vanishes in an instant, most people panic. They scramble for food, water, medicine. But what if I told you that the real survivors, the ones who make it through the chaos, aren't just stockpiling cans and batteries? They're growing life itself. Right now, in their homes, they're cultivating something more valuable than gold. Survival herbs that heal, protect, and sustain when pharmacies are looted and hospitals are overwhelmed. If you're serious about surviving what's coming, you need to understand this skill before it's too late. Subscribe now, because what you're about to learn could be the difference between life and death when society collapses. Let's be brutally honest. During a prolonged blackout, whether from an EMP attack, a grid failure, or a solar storm, your access to modern medicine disappears overnight. No prescriptions, no emergency rooms, no pharmacies restocking shelves. You're on your own, and while everyone else is fighting over the last bottle of painkillers, you'll have a renewable source of healing growing quietly in your home. Growing survival herbs indoors during a blackout isn't just gardening. It's a critical survival strategy that separates the prepared from the desperate. The first thing you need to understand is why herbs matter in a survival scenario. Throughout human history, before pharmaceutical companies existed, people relied on medicinal plants to treat wounds, infections, pain, digestive issues, and respiratory problems. These aren't folktales or superstitions. These are proven remedies backed by thousands of years of use and, in many cases, modern scientific research. When antibiotics aren't available, herbs like oregano and thyme contain powerful antimicrobial compounds. When pain medication runs out, willow bark and feverfew provide natural analgesics. When anxiety and insomnia take hold during crisis, valerian root and chamomile offer relief without dependency. But here's the critical part most people miss. You can't just start growing these herbs when disaster strikes. You need to establish them now, learn how to maintain them without electricity, and understand their uses before you're forced to apply them under pressure. A blackout scenario means no grow lights, no electric heating pads, no automatic watering systems. Everything you do must work with minimal resources, natural light, and manual effort. This is where most amateur gardeners fail. They rely on technology that won't be there when it matters. Let's start with the essential herbs every serious prepper should be growing indoors right now. These aren't decorative plants. These are medicinal powerhouses with proven survival applications. First on the list is aloe vera. This succulent is nearly indestructible and requires minimal water and light. During a blackout, aloe becomes your burn treatment, wound healer, and skin protector all in one plant. The gel inside the leaves treats burns from fires, scalding water, or sun exposure, all common injuries during grid-down scenarios. It also soothes cuts, scrapes, and minor infections. Aloe can survive weeks without water and tolerates low light conditions, making it ideal for blackout situations. Next is peppermint, one of the most versatile survival herbs you can grow. Peppermint thrives indoors with moderate light and regular watering. During a crisis, it treats digestive problems, nausea, stomach cramps, indigestion, which become common when people are forced to eat unfamiliar or questionable food sources. Peppermint tea relieves headaches, reduces fever, and clears respiratory congestion. The plant itself is vigorous and spreads easily, meaning you can propagate multiple plants from a single starter. Keep it in a container to prevent it from taking over, but encourage its growth, because this herb becomes currency when others are suffering from preventable ailments. Oregano is your natural antibiotic. This hardy Mediterranean herb grows well indoors on windowsills and requires minimal maintenance. Oregano contains carvacrol and thymol, compounds with proven antimicrobial properties that fight bacterial, viral, and fungal infections. When someone in your household develops a respiratory infection, a cut that's becoming infected, or food poisoning, oregano oil or strong oregano tea becomes your first line of defense. During a blackout, when hospitals are inaccessible, infections kill. Oregano helps prevent that. It's also a culinary herb, adding flavor to survival meals and making stored food more palatable. Thyme works alongside oregano as another powerful antimicrobial herb. It thrives in similar conditions: bright light, well-drained soil, moderate watering. Thyme treats respiratory infections, sore throats, coughs, and bronchitis. It's especially valuable during winter blackouts when respiratory illness spreads quickly in cold, confined spaces. Thyme tea with honey, if you're keeping bees or have stored honey, becomes a potent cough suppressant and immune booster. The plant is small, compact, and produces abundantly, making it perfect for indoor cultivation during emergencies. Chamomile is your psychological survival tool. When society collapses and stress, anxiety, and insomnia become epidemic, chamomile provides natural sedative effects without the side effects or dependency of pharmaceutical sleep aids. Growing chamomile indoors requires bright light and consistent moisture, but the flowers can be harvested and dried for long-term storage. During a prolonged blackout, maintaining mental health becomes as critical as physical health. Sleep deprivation impairs decision-making, weakens immunity, and increases conflict within groups. Chamomile tea before bed helps maintain the mental clarity needed for survival. Basil is often overlooked as a survival herb, but it's essential. This aromatic plant grows rapidly indoors with adequate light and warmth. Basil has anti-inflammatory and antibacterial properties, making it useful for treating minor infections and reducing inflammation from injuries. It's also a nutritional powerhouse, rich in vitamins A, K, and C, which become critically important when fresh produce isn't available. During a blackout, scurvy and other vitamin deficiencies emerge quickly in populations relying solely on stored foods. Fresh basil leaves provide essential nutrients that prevent these conditions. Plus, like oregano, basil improves the taste of monotonous survival meals, which affects morale and willingness to eat. Lavender provides both medicinal and psychological benefits. This hardy herb tolerates drought and lower light conditions, making it suitable for blackout scenarios. Lavender oil treats burns, wounds, and skin irritations. The scent alone reduces anxiety and promotes sleep, which is why lavender sachets were traditionally placed under pillows. During a crisis, the calming effect of lavender becomes invaluable for managing stress, especially in children and vulnerable individuals. Growing lavender indoors requires well-drained soil and occasional watering, but once established, it's remarkably resilient. Sage is your infection fighter and digestive aid. This Mediterranean herb grows slowly but steadily indoors with bright light. Sage contains powerful antiseptic compounds that treat sore throats, mouth infections, and gum disease, all common problems during prolonged emergencies when dental care is unavailable. Sage tea used as a gargle fights oral infections and reduces inflammation. It also aids digestion and reduces excessive sweating, which matters during summer blackouts when heat stress becomes dangerous. Sage is easy to dry and store, extending its usefulness beyond the growing season. Rosemary is both a culinary and medicinal herb, with impressive survival applications. This woody perennial thrives indoors near sunny windows. Rosemary improves circulation, relieves muscle pain, and enhances mental clarity and memory, all critical during high-stress survival situations. It's also a natural preservative with antimicrobial properties, which means adding rosemary to stored meats or cooked foods helps prevent spoilage during blackouts when refrigeration fails. The plant is drought-tolerant and hardy, requiring minimal care once established. Now that you understand which herbs to grow, let's talk about how to actually maintain them during a blackout when everything you take for granted disappears. The biggest challenge is light. Most survival herbs need at least 4 to 6 hours of bright light daily. During a blackout, you won't have grow lights. You'll rely entirely on natural sunlight, which means strategic window placement becomes critical. South-facing windows in the northern hemisphere provide the most consistent light throughout the day. East-facing windows give strong morning light, while west-facing windows offer afternoon sun. North-facing windows provide the least light and should only be used for shade-tolerant herbs like mint or parsley. But what happens during winter blackouts when daylight hours are short and sunlight is weak? This is where reflective surfaces save your garden. Aluminum foil, mirrors, or white painted surfaces placed behind and around your plants reflect available light back onto the foliage, effectively doubling the light each plant receives. This simple technique costs nothing but dramatically improves winter growing success. Position plants as close to windows as possible without touching cold glass, which can damage leaves. Group plants together to create a microclimate that retains humidity and warmth. Temperature control without electricity is your next challenge. Most survival herbs prefer temperatures between 60 and 75 degrees Fahrenheit. During winter blackouts, indoor temperatures can drop dangerously low. Insulation becomes critical. Move plants away from drafty windows at night. Use blankets, cardboard, or bubble wrap to create insulated barriers around plant areas. Group plants together so their combined transpiration creates localized warmth and humidity. If you have a wood stove or alternative heat source, position plants nearby, but not so close that they overheat or dry out. During summer blackouts, the opposite problem occurs: excessive heat. Move plants to cooler areas of the home, increase ventilation, and water more frequently to prevent heat stress. Watering during a blackout requires planning. Municipal water systems often fail during extended power outages, meaning tap water becomes unavailable. You need backup water sources specifically for your survival garden. Rainwater collection is ideal. Set up barrels or containers to capture roof runoff before emergencies hit. Rainwater is naturally soft and free of chlorine, making it superior to treated water for plants. Store water in clean, covered containers to prevent mosquito breeding and contamination. Melted snow works during winter if rainwater isn't available. In extreme situations, you can recycle gray water from washing dishes or hands, but avoid water contaminated with soap or chemicals that harm plants. The key to blackout watering is efficiency. Use bottom watering techniques where you place pots in shallow trays of water, allowing plants to absorb moisture through drainage holes. This method uses less water and encourages deep root growth. Mulch the soil surface with straw, shredded paper, or dried leaves to reduce evaporation. Water in the morning so plants have time to absorb moisture before nighttime temperatures drop. Check soil moisture by inserting your finger 2 inches deep. If it's dry, water thoroughly until it drains from the bottom. If it's still moist, wait. Overwatering kills more indoor plants than underwatering, especially during blackouts when evaporation rates change. Soil quality determines your success or failure. During a blackout, you can't run to the store for fresh potting mix. You need to prepare soil in advance and know how to maintain it indefinitely. Quality potting soil contains a mix of peat moss or coconut coir, perlite or vermiculite for drainage, and compost for nutrients. Store extra bags in a dry location, but also learn to create your own. Compost kitchen scraps, vegetable peels, coffee grounds, eggshells in a small indoor bin. This creates free, nutrient-rich soil amendments. Mix used coffee grounds directly into potting soil for acid-loving herbs like basil and parsley. Crush eggshells and add them for calcium. Save wood ash from fires for potassium, but use sparingly as it's highly alkaline. Fertilization becomes critical during prolonged blackouts when plants exhaust soil nutrients. Chemical fertilizers may be unavailable or prohibitively expensive. Organic options are renewable and sustainable. Compost tea, made by steeping finished compost in water, provides a gentle, balanced fertilizer. Fish emulsion, if you have access to fish or can store it, offers high nitrogen for leafy growth. Diluted urine, as unpleasant as it sounds, is an excellent nitrogen source used by gardeners for centuries. Mix 1 part urine to 10 parts water and apply monthly. Worm castings from a small indoor worm bin create the highest quality fertilizer available. Red wiggler worms convert kitchen scraps into nutrient-dense castings that dramatically improve plant health and productivity. Pest control without chemicals or electricity requires vigilance and natural methods. Common indoor pests include aphids, spider mites, and fungus gnats. Aphids cluster on new growth and under leaves, sucking plant sap and weakening herbs. Remove them by hand or spray plants with a strong stream of water if water is available. A solution of water and a few drops of dish soap kills aphids on contact. Spider mites appear as tiny dots on leaf undersides, creating fine webbing. They thrive in dry conditions, so increasing humidity through misting or grouping plants helps prevent infestations. Neem oil, if you have it stored, treats both aphids and mites effectively. Fungus gnats breed in overly moist soil. Let soil dry slightly between waterings and cover the soil surface with sand or diatomaceous earth to prevent egg laying. propagation skills multiply your survival garden without spending resources. Most herbs propagate easily from cuttings, allowing you to expand your supply indefinitely. Take 4 to 6 inch cuttings from healthy stems, remove lower leaves, and place in water or moist soil. Roots develop within 2 to 4 weeks. Basil, mint, oregano, and sage all propagate readily from cuttings. This skill becomes invaluable during long-term emergencies when you need to replace dying plants, share with neighbors for barter, or expand production to feed more people. Division works for herbs that form clumps, like chives or lemon balm. Simply remove the plant from its pot, separate the root ball into sections, and replant each section. One plant becomes 3 or 4, dramatically increasing your medicinal resources. Harvesting techniques ensure continuous production. Never harvest more than 1/3 of a plant at once. This prevents shock and allows recovery. For leafy herbs like basil and mint, pinch stems just above leaf nodes to encourage bushier growth. Harvest in the morning after dew dries but before the day's heat, when essential oils are most concentrated. For flowering herbs like chamomile and lavender, harvest flowers just as they fully open. Regular harvesting actually stimulates more growth, keeping plants productive longer. During a blackout, fresh herbs are used immediately for medicine or cooking, but excess must be preserved. Preservation extends your harvest through seasons when growth slows or stops. Drying is the simplest method, requiring no electricity. Bundle stems and hang upside down in a dark, dry, well-ventilated area. Darkness preserves color and potency. Air circulation prevents mold. Once completely dry and brittle, strip leaves from stems and store in airtight glass jars away from light and heat. Properly dried herbs retain potency for 1 to 2 years. Label jars with the herb name and date. For faster drying during humid conditions, use a solar dehydrator constructed from a cardboard box, screening, and black plastic. It harnesses sun heat to dry herbs in days instead of weeks. Freezing preserves herbs if you have alternative power sources like solar generators, but during total blackouts, drying is more reliable. Ice cube trays filled with chopped herbs and water create individual portions that can be added directly to teas or soups, but this requires consistent freezing. Herb-infused oils preserve flavor and medicinal properties. Pack fresh herbs into jars and cover completely with olive oil. This creates both a cooking ingredient and a topical medicine. Strain after several weeks and store in a cool, dark location. The oil carries the herb's medicinal compounds and can be applied directly to skin for burns, wounds, or infections. Creating herbal medicines from your indoor garden requires basic knowledge that could save lives when professional medical care is unavailable. Teas, also called infusions, are the simplest preparation. Use 1 tablespoon of fresh herbs or 1 teaspoon of dried herbs per cup of boiling water. Steep covered for 10 to 15 minutes to extract maximum medicinal compounds. Strain and drink while warm. Sweeten with honey if available. Teas treat internal conditions, digestive issues, respiratory infections, anxiety, insomnia. Drink 2 to 3 cups daily for acute conditions. Tinctures are concentrated liquid extracts that preserve herbs for years. Fill a jar with chopped fresh herbs and cover completely with high-proof alcohol like vodka or grain alcohol. Seal and store in a dark location for 4 to 6 weeks, shaking daily. Strain through cheesecloth and store in dark glass bottles. Tinctures are taken by the dropperful, diluted in water. They're more potent than teas and have indefinite shelf life if stored properly. During a blackout, alcohol may be scarce, so prepare tinctures in advance. Glycerin-based tinctures work for those avoiding alcohol but have shorter shelf lives. Poultices apply herbs directly to wounds, burns, or infections. Mash fresh herbs into a paste, spread on clean cloth, and apply to the affected area. Cover with a bandage and replace every few hours. Plantain, though typically an outdoor herb, is excellent for this. But indoor oregano or thyme works for infected wounds. The direct contact allows medicinal compounds to penetrate skin and fight infection. Salves combine herbs with oils and beeswax to create healing ointments. Infuse herbs in oil, strain, then melt beeswax into the oil at a ratio of 1 part beeswax to 4 parts oil. Pour into small containers and allow to solidify. These salves treat burns, cuts, rashes, and dry skin during blackouts, when commercial products are unavailable. Steam inhalations treat respiratory congestion and sinus infections. Place fresh or dried herbs like thyme, oregano, or peppermint in a bowl. Pour boiling water over herbs and immediately cover your head and the bowl with a towel, creating a tent. Breathe deeply for 10 to 15 minutes. The steam carries volatile oils directly into respiratory passages, fighting infection and loosening mucus. This technique is especially valuable during winter blackouts when respiratory illness spreads in crowded, poorly ventilated spaces. Understanding dosage and safety is critical. Just because something is natural doesn't mean it's harmless. Herbs are medicine and must be used responsibly. Pregnant women, children, and elderly individuals require adjusted dosages and should avoid certain herbs entirely. Oregano oil is powerful but can cause digestive upset in high doses. Chamomile is safe for most people but can cause allergic reactions in those sensitive to ragweed family plants. Sage should not be used long-term in large amounts. Research each herb thoroughly before growing and using it. Store printed information. Don't rely on internet access during blackouts. Field guides, herbalism books, and printed dosage charts become invaluable references when digital information is unavailable. Documenting your results creates valuable knowledge for long-term survival. Keep a simple journal noting what you planted, when you harvested, which preparations you made, and how effective they were for specific conditions. This information becomes increasingly valuable over time, allowing you to refine techniques and improve outcomes. Share knowledge carefully with trusted neighbors or family members. Herbalism skills become barter currency during extended emergencies. People will trade food, tools, or services for effective medicine when nothing else is available. The psychological impact of maintaining a living garden during a blackout cannot be overstated. While the world outside descends into chaos, you have control over something growing and productive. This provides hope, purpose, and a tangible connection to life continuing. Children especially benefit from caring for plants during crisis. It gives them responsibility, teaches valuable skills, and provides distraction from fear and uncertainty. The simple act of watering plants, checking growth, and harvesting herbs creates routine and normalcy when everything else is falling apart. Community resilience improves when multiple households maintain survival herb gardens. If you have trusted neighbors, encourage them to grow different varieties. During a blackout, you can trade fresh basil for their thyme, chamomile for oregano. This diversification ensures broader access to medicinal plants without requiring every household to grow everything. However, maintain operational security. Don't advertise your resources widely. Desperate people do desperate things, and a thriving indoor garden becomes a target if others are starving or suffering without medicine. Advanced techniques separate true survival gardeners from casual hobbyists. Seed saving ensures indefinite plant production. Allow some herb plants to flower and go to seed. Collect dried seeds and store in paper envelopes in a cool, dry, dark location. Seeds remain viable for years depending on variety. Basil, cilantro, dill, and chamomile produce abundant seeds easily saved. Succession planting maintains continuous harvest. Instead of planting all seeds at once, plant small amounts every few weeks. This ensures mature plants are always available while new ones are developing. Interplanting combines compatible herbs in the same container, maximizing space. Basil and oregano grow well together. Thyme and rosemary share similar water and light needs. Vertical growing systems expand production in limited space. Shelving units near windows hold multiple layers of plants. Hanging planters utilize upper areas near ceilings where heat rises. Wall-mounted planters turn vertical surfaces into growing areas. During blackouts, space efficiency becomes critical as you may need to consolidate multiple families into one secure location. Vertical systems allow small spaces to produce surprising amounts of herbs. The reality is this: growing survival herbs indoors during a blackout isn't optional for serious preppers. It's a fundamental skill that determines whether you thrive or merely survive. While others are helpless when medical systems collapse, you'll have renewable medicine growing in your home. While others suffer from infections, respiratory illness, anxiety, and malnutrition, you'll have natural treatments that actually work. This knowledge and these skills separate those who prepared intelligently from those who just stockpiled stuff and hoped for the best. Start now. Don't wait for the grid to fail, the economy to collapse, or the disaster to arrive. Get your hands dirty today. Buy starter plants or seeds. Set up your growing area. Practice watering, harvesting, and making basic preparations. Fail now when failure is cheap and consequences are minimal. Learn what works in your specific environment with your available light and space. Build your knowledge base through experience, not theory. When the blackout comes, and it will come, you'll already know what you're doing. You'll already have established plants producing medicine. You'll already have dried reserves stored safely. You'll be ready while everyone else is panicking. And if you want to go deeper, you'll find in the pinned comment some guides and documents that can take your preparedness to the next level. Check them out when you're ready, because surviving isn't about luck. It's about preparation, knowledge, and action. Don't let fear paralyze you. Don't let denial blind you. The lights will go out. Society will falter. But you don't have to be helpless. You can grow life in the darkness. You can create medicine when hospitals fail. You can be the person others turn to when hope seems lost. Like this video, comment below with which herb you're growing first, and share this with someone who needs to see it before it's too late. Subscribe because the skills you're learning here aren't taught anywhere else with this level of honesty and urgency. The knowledge you're building today becomes the difference between life and death tomorrow. So don't just watch, act. Plant something today. Your future self will thank you when everything else has fallen apart, but your garden is still growing.